Good morning, everyone. Madam Chair, Committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. I appreciate it very much. My name is Rodney Vermeulen, and I, together with my family, have made Hamilton our home for the past 11 years and feel very blessed to be part of this community. I also happen to serve as pastor of Trinity Canadian Reformed Church, situated just this side of Caledonia. We have a membership of just under 370, and quite a number of our members live and work in Hamilton boundaries. Even more of them play in Hamilton's great public spaces. I speak to you today, though, as an individual, a concerned individual who has a contact with a lot of people by virtue of the fact that I am a pastor. On any given Sunday, I look out over the congregation as I lead in worship, and I see lots of young boys and girls who the day before quite possibly spent some time skating on one of Hamilton's rinks or swimming in one of Hamilton's great pools. And when I consider the policy before the committee today, what I try to do as an individual is imagine the policy implemented. I tend to be a fairly practical person. I try to imagine, let's take a 10-year-old girl as our example, and let's call her, for the sake of this argument, Abigail. Abigail represents for me all girls and boys in our congregation who are between the ages of, say, 6 and 13. Her dad has taken Abigail and her brothers to the pool. Let's say Valley Park Arena there on Paramount Drive in Stony Creek, a great place. I've been there a number of times. Kids are all excited. Which kid isn't when they're going to go for a swim in a public pool? Dad says to Abigail, "Okay, Abigail, go and shower, get ready, and we'll meet at the edge of the pool." So Abigail does. So Abigail does what every 10-year-old girl is expected to do. She goes to the change area designated for females. But then, I'm just asked that you bear with me and picture this. In comes an adult person who identifies as female but is biologically male. As I understand the protocol, such a person will have the right to access the changing facility of their gender identity. That's 5.2 of the protocol. That adult person, in Abigail's field of vision, proceeds to get undressed so as to prepare to go for a swim. And I ask you to imagine not what you think should be Abigail's reaction, but I ask you to imagine what Abigail's reaction will be. Again, not what you would like it to be, but what it will be. Remember, please, that she's just 10 years old in my example. Her reaction, and the reaction of any 10-year-old girl like her, will be, I think, a reaction based on God's design for male and female. It's the way we are hardwired. It's the way the Creator, I believe, has designed us. She is not meant to view a naked, adult, biological male body, and so will be negatively affected by it. There will be an awkwardness about that, and she will want to get out of there as quickly as possible. Such an incident, I expect, will be etched in her mind. Committee members, doesn't Abigail and all children like her have a right to privacy and freedom from that feeling of awkwardness from such a situation? What I find, committee, particularly striking is that the report on page 2 says to Abigail, where possible, the city will provide for you a single stall and a washroom or change room. And if it isn't possible at that particular facility, she, as 10 years old, has to go and ask for that additional privacy. That's the protocol 5.4. And then the staff at that facility have to determine if she has a bona fide reason for her request. Are you going to put our 10-year-old girls through that? Abigail's just a regular 10-year-old, like the vast majority of other 10-year-olds. And her gender identity corresponds for her to her sex, and yet she has to go and ask for that privacy, and it will be only granted to her if she has a bona fide reason. There is, I believe, a clear contradiction here. The trans person's right is absolute. Abigail's right to privacy from such a situation is where possible. My plea to the committee, as a father, as a husband, my plea to the committee as it seeks to uphold the rights of all its citizens is to consider the rights of Abigail too. Specifically, I ask that the protocol goes back to the committee with the instruction to consult with a broader spectrum of stakeholders so that the City of Hamilton is seen to and does take into account the needs and rights of all its citizens. As an individual, and I know this to be true of the members of my congregation too, but I'm speaking as an individual, It's my goal to be an active part of our community and to consistently show the love of our Saviour to others, including those who are trans and gender non-conforming. And I believe that this is entirely possible without compromising in any way the comfort and well-being of Abigail and all her children and all children like her. Madam Chairman, thank you for your time.